mistake or least mistake at this.
The best simulation racers in the country will rev up their engines to give it a go at some of the world's most famous racetracks. Hi guys, my name is Ref Mosir and welcome to the second year of the Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup Philippines 2021. Joining me today is racing analyst Gino Quillamor, and indeed it's exciting to hear the sound of cars running at top speed.
All right, now, you know what? I definitely couldn't agree with you more. Now, without a doubt, these competitors will push their gears and their sim racing prowess to the limit in hopes of achieving glory.
Hey man, I can definitely feel your excitement there. But now that the GRGT Cup is on year 2, let's take a look back at what transpired during the inaugural run of this competition.
A lot of things transpired indeed. Now, hundreds, and I mean hundreds of racers signed up for the 3 heats that we've had last year. But in the end, it was Russell Cabrera who won the junior class. Also, we had Lance Padilla, who also took home the overall championship for the promotional class, while Terence Liave did the same in the sporting class. Now, there was even a media influencer class that Jose Luis Altaveros won.
Exciting. Of course, the success of that first edition gave rise to year 2. I wonder what we can expect from this year's field.
For sure, it'll be a heck of a crazy time. Now, we've got a great mix of experienced racers who have made a name for themselves, and of course, the new wards who are trying to etch their names into the records of this thrilling competition.
Man, when you say thrilling, it's thrilling indeed. But before we proceed with the races itself, let's give an overview of how this competition came about.
Super important that we take a look back. And, well, Toyota Gazoo Racing is Toyota's global motorsports brand. Now, its philosophy of pushing the limits for better guides Toyota in building ever better cars by learning from the challenges and demands of races. But Toyota Gazoo Racing also wants more people like you and me to experience the fun, the excitement, and waku-doki feeling of racing. And that's why it's promoting more ways for people like you and me to be part of the culture of racing and, of course, winning. That's why it opened the GRGT Cup in several countries all over the world, including the Philippines. So again, thank you so much, Toyota Motor Philippines, for bringing the GRGT Cup right here.
Gino, thank you so much for that insight, man. And I know you're all pumped for the races, and so am I. However, let's take a breather for now because it's off to the track we go when we return. But before that, please watch this video.
At the core of Toyota Gazoo Racing lies motorsports DNA. Combine that with the Philippines' best-selling sedan, you get the new Vios GRS. Its black accent details and aero kit upgrade capture the feel and excitement on the track, and the 10-speed CVT that exudes the TGR competitive spirit. On the road or on the track, always be ready for a heart-racing, exhilarating ride. The new Vios GRS. Bring on the thrill.
The Toyota Vios brings on a brand new thrill as it gets the Gazoo Racing treatment with a new Toyota Vios GRS. And if you're interested in going for this exhilarating vehicle, you can learn more about it by visiting www.toyota.com.ph/Vios/1.5 GRS.
And finally, the moment we've all been waiting for, we are about to begin with our first race of the day, which is for the junior class of the Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup 2021. Gino, I'd like to ask you, how does one even become part of the junior class?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Ref, because I'm more than happy to oblige with the answer. To say the least, these are the young guns of the competition, all right? So first off, the junior class division is open to Filipinos aged 17 and below, but without professional e-racing experience. I was 1 year away from being able to join, man. 1 year away. Yeah, that's true. Therefore, we will be seeing the future of Philippine racing in this class.
Man, with these racers, I think it's safe to assume that literally the future of motorsport is within these guys. The future is bright for these racers, and that's why Toyota is providing an avenue for them to hone their skills, to build up their experience, and boost their confidence. And part of uplifting their confidence is recognizing who they are. Could you please share more information about these competitors, Gino?
Now, the junior class is composed of competitors from all over the Philippines. They may come from different places, but basically what binds them is their love for racing. one of the competitors, Joshua David Marquez, is just 14 years old. Can you imagine that? And another competitor, Gian Casimiro, is also a kart racer. And finally, we have Max Aaron Marquez, who is also into biking.
Thank you for that interesting info, Gino. But as we wait for the start of the race, it's important to note that the winners of the junior class race will take home such prizes such as gaming peripherals and other exciting merchandise. Now, going back, can you tell us more about the track that we'll be using, Gino?
I'm glad you asked, Ref. So the Ochodomo Nazionale de Monza is an FIA, that's really how they say it, it's an FIA grade track that opened grounds on September 3, 1922. So the modern Grand Prix circuit, which we will be using, has 11 turns and it's roughly 5.8 kilometers long. So it's located just north of Milan, Italy. The circuit's biggest event is, of course, the Italian Grand Prix. Now, this track is well known for its notorious high-speed stretches and, of course, technical chicanes. And as for the point system of the junior class, the top placer gets 20 points, while the second and third placers get 15 and 12 points respectively. Fourth placer gets 10, the fifth gets 8 and 6 points for the sixth placer. Now, the 7th to 10th placers will earn 4, 3, 2, and 1 point respectively.
Wow, that sounds pretty exciting. And with a racetrack like that, it actually practices them more for the real life, just in case they want to move over to that type of industry in motorsports itself. And the fact that more people can get points calls for an exciting tournament. But Gino, how did we even determine the starting order for the junior class?
Well, here's the thing. Now, these competitors had to go through a qualifying race to determine the order of starting. Now, the racer with the fastest time is first in line and everything follows until all participants are complete.
I see. Indeed, Gino, these young racers are ready to navigate the twists and turns of Monza. And finally, the moment we've all been waiting for, we bring you guys the full race for the junior class of the GRGT Cup Philippines. Watch this. And they're off! Now we see a glimpse of Joshua David Marquez's onboard camera as he starts the race at the pole. Gino, do you think he can pull off a wire-to-wire victory?
You know, I'd love to be able to say that, but unfortunately, maintaining a lead throughout the race is easier said than done. Everyone will compete fiercely for the top spot, considering that we're running for just 5 laps.
That's true, Gino. Meanwhile, here's a glimpse of Russell Cabrera, last year's GRGT Cup champion, but is currently in 3rd place behind Marquez and Veloso. Now we see our competitors making a turn after the long straight. We notice that one of our racers has actually already incurred a 2-second penalty. Gino, how does that even happen in the GRGT Cup?
Well, there are certain actions that you can't do when it comes to the race, like cutting corners or intentional bumping. You know, all of these actions have a corresponding penalty wherein the competitor has to slow down for the corresponding number of seconds to honor the penalty.
Gino, again, to review the classification of our competitors, we have Marquez still in the lead, while Veloso and Cabrera round up to the top 3. We have Ison at the 4th and Mangio at the 5th. But hold on a minute, we see a battle between Alendrey Cruz, aka Mir Daddy, and Samson. Cruz goes to the outside hoping to overtake Samson, but great defensive driving from Samson. This time, Cruz attacks on the inside to take the upper hand, but Samson retaliates by regaining the lead.
Boy, what intense action we're seeing so early on in the race. You really can feel the intensity, even if it's a simulation race.
Oh boy, David Ison went off track, Gino.
It's a little love tap from Russell Cabrera to force him off the track.
And as Ison went a little bit out of control, John Paul Veloso takes advantage and gains 3rd place. Meanwhile, we have some mirror-to-mirror action here between Cabrera on the inside and Veloso on the outside. Both racers want that 2nd spot, and it's really showing and are driving on equal footing. Up here, we have Veloso gains a slight lead over Cabrera on the stretch. But as they approach the 2nd lap, we have Marquez pulling away on the stretch to maintain the lead. Russell Cabrera is at the 2nd, while Veloso takes the 3rd spot, and Enzo Izon falls to the 4th. However, Cabrera makes a move on the inside and snatches away 2nd place from Veloso.
Now the battle for second place is heating up with that fantastic maneuver by Cabrera.
And onto the spectator's point of view for corners 1 and 2. Oh, Ablaza saves his car from a spin out by drifting. Cruz able to pull away from Ablaza as the drift slowed him down.
It's a tough break there for Ablaza. He had a chance against Cruz, only the buckle on the controls.
And so as it stands, Marquez is still in the driver's seat while chasing him down are Cabrera, Veloso, and Ison, while Manju and Cruz round up the whole top 6. Now let's bring back the attention to the leaders as we see Marquez, Cabrera, and Veloso all within striking distance for the lead. And we also see an onboard view of Russell Cabrera, who is using the steering wheel. Gino, you have one of these, man. What are the advantages of such controls?
Well, it definitely makes racing experience more immersive, and it's easier to use when you know how to drive a real car.
That's true. And back to the action we go as Cabrera closes in on Joshua Marquez, really putting the pressure on the race leader. Oh, but don't look now. Velosa makes his move and overtakes Cabrera. However, Cabrera takes back the second spot on turn 9. Meanwhile, we see Ablaza slowing down for his penalty with Casimiro. Oh, but look at this. There's an intense battle between Cruz and Ablaza. Ablaza tries to get past Cruz, but Mir Daddy shuts down the door on Natolski. Ablaza goes off track for a bit and incurs a half-second penalty for corner cutting. And oh, right here, we have even Cruz getting a half-second penalty as well. And as we are about to view our first instant replay, take us through it, Gino.
Well, as you can see, both Veloso and Cabrera weaved against each other. Now, Veloso penetrated to the inside to take the lead, but Cabrera also used the inside lane to regain the second spot immediately.
And now back to the action as Marquez crosses the line to start the third lap. Not far behind is Cabrera. And now Cabrera is making his move on Marquez. He goes side by side against the race leader as they approach turn 1 of lap 3. Cabrera is really putting on the heat. He's really hoping to rest away at the top spot.
Russell Cabrera is a man on a mission right now. He's really looking for an opening to take the lead away from Marquez with 2 laps remaining.
That's right, Gino. Cabrera is on the hunt for this lead, man. He goes side by side Marquez entering turn 4, and now there's a little bit of contact between the two drivers coming in and out of corners 4 and 5.
Now, despite the pressure being put on by Cabrera, Marquez manages to hold on to the lead. Nice defensive driving shown here by Marquez.
Meanwhile, Gino, we have Cabrera drafting on Marquez between turn 6 and 7. Cabrera's really not letting up on their leader, man. This guy will not stop to win here tonight. And also, we have Veloso here going on the outside upon exit of turn 7. Good thing he manages to safely rejoin the track and regain control. And now we have a look at Ison right here, who's currently in third place right behind Russell Cabrera.
Now, as Ison is trying to catch up with Cabrera and Marquez, Veloso is still on target, though, for a top 3 finish.
And as David Ison approaches turn 8 and 9, here we see onboard footage of him using a controller that steers via motion and not through analog sticks. He's not using a steering wheel here, Gino, unlike any of his other competitors.
That's absolutely right, Ref. Despite using what we call a motion controller, he is holding his ground and catching up.
And as we go to another instant replay, Gino, let's take a look back at that overtake attempt by Russell Cabrera.
That is a sight to see as the 2 other drivers withstand intense pressure to maintain control and fight for the lead.
Man, what a beautiful trick by Cabrera there. And as we go on to lap number 4, surprise, surprise, we have Russell Cabrera with the lead. And it seems like Cabrera himself has built a nice cushion between him and Ison.
Finally, his push to take the top spot has paid off, and he can now widen that gap now that the race is in its final stages.
And as we approach turns 4 and 5, here we see Cabrera hitting the curbs on turn 5 as he continues to pull away from the pack behind him. He goes through the chicane smooth as silk and just piling up on his lead. Meanwhile, Marquez is faced with a half-second penalty. Must have been a contact with David Ison or a corner cut. And as the race continues, Veloso struggles with the exit on turn 6, unfortunately causing him to go off track. And meanwhile, we have Ison's turn to go off track, possibly because of a late breaking point. Now we have, amidst the troubles of the other competitors, Russell Cabrera having no problems whatsoever with the track.
Strong driving on Cabrera's part for the entire race. He really fought fiercely for his lead.
And as we go on another instant replay, take us through this, Gino.
Now, Veloso had struggles with his controls on turn 6 that he almost lost control and possibly lost more ground with the leaders.
And now we see the battle for third place between Ison and Paul Veloso, trying to make a move on the outside, but to no avail on the final corner. Meanwhile, Ablaza cutting in turn 8 too early, and as he rejoins the track, he spins out.
That is tough because the sand gathers on your tires. Rejoining the track is a little bit tricky.
And on to the final lap of the junior class race we go, as Russell Cabrera maintains a wide margin over the rest of the pack. And in another instant replay, let's take a look at the moment wherein Ablaza had a mishap on turns 8 and 9.
Alright, when you miss your brake point and cut the corner a little too hard, you can really be forced into the sand, causing you to lose control if you're not careful.
Then we see Vince Mangio for the first time in the race. Up next, we have Gian Casimiro. Then on screen is Carlo Castro. And onto the other competitors, we have Max Aaron Marquez, Paco Samson, and now we feature Alan Drake Cruz. Oh, there's another mishap here as Paco Samson goes out of control. And all eyes now to race leader Russell Cabrera, who is approaching the final quarter of the race. Meanwhile, we have Ison and Veloso still fighting hard for third place.
Now, this has been the battle that we've been seeing all throughout the race, and both drivers are making one final push.
And as he approaches the checkered flag, that's a victory for Russell Cabrera. And there he is, all smiles after a stellar effort.
So big congratulations to Russell Cabrera on a solid race. He kept applying the pressure on Marquez, and he had a near flawless performance to take the win.
And we have Marquez coming in at second, John Paul Veloso comes in at third, and Ison settles for fourth. And getting the honors of the fastest lap for this race is none other than our second place, Joshua David Marquez at 2:02.548.
Amazing drive from Joshua David Marquez. Now, if only that, the consistency really, stayed throughout the race, then definitely he would have nabbed the top spot. But, big points to him anyway for being able to achieve such a quick lap with that time.
Definitely, Gino. He would have gotten that one, actually. And now here's the confirmation of the classification for the junior class. We have Russell Cabrera with the victory. And of course, coming at second is Joshua David Marquez. And at third is John Paul Veloso.
Now, coming in at fourth is David Enzo Ison. Vince Mangio finishes fifth, while Gian Casimiro and Alan Drake Cruz completes the race in 6th and 7th spots, respectively. Max Aaron Marquez clocks in at 8th.
And rounding up to the top 10 are Paco Samson, Manolo Ablaza, and Carlo Castro. Congratulations to all the winners who will be taking home prizes such as gaming peripherals and other exciting merchandise. Gino, what are your thoughts about this race, man? That was intense.
Oh man, where do I even start? Like just some of the things that come to mind are it was explosive, it was exciting. You had people spinning out of the sand. Love taps here and there. It's just amazing what these esports I'll call them esports athletes. I'm gonna go out and say it. Are achieving at such a young age. Like we were just talking about it. Like this is the junior class. And the discipline that they have really kind of translated onto like how they drive on the track.
Definitely, Gino, that's actually well said. And to think that these racers right here, these young racers, definitely the future of this motorsport. And I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of them down the road and even in the next decades. So this wraps up our junior class leaderboard. However, there's still more action coming your way from the promotional and the sporting classes. But before that, let's watch this video about the Toyota GR Yaris.
The GRS is now ready to take on Philippine roads with you and your unrelenting racing spirit at the wheel. Developed under Toyota Gazoo Racing, the GR Yaris is built through motorsport experience, passion, and the drive to win under any condition. So if you're interested in owning one, GR Performance Dealerships nationwide is now accepting reservations. So for those of you who are curious, the GR Yaris has a standard retail price of 2,650,000 pesos. Of course, you can learn more at www.toyota.com.ph/GR Yaris is coming.
So hey guys, you're still with us on our coverage of the Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup Philippines 2021. This is still the leaderboard. My name is Ref Bangsin and with me is Gino Killiamore. I must say, man, the exciting races in the junior class came by so fast, but don't worry because we've got more action for you guys. This time in the promotional division. And Gino, hey man, tell me, who's qualified to compete in this class?
Well, this is the second of 3 classifications in this tournament, and it is for individuals aged 18 and above who have not competed in professional esports racing and are also not affiliated with any professional esports racing team.
I see, Gino. I think it's safe to say that these are more casual gamers than actual professionals in the GRGT Cup, but you never know, man. A lot of people might try it out from this type of promotional division and really find out that they might have a passion for racing. And that doesn't diminish the level of competition in the promotionals at all.
Not at all, man. Now, there are 119 total competitors in the leaderboard promotional class. However, unlike the junior class, they didn't compete under one race. Instead, multiple lobbies were open wherein they were divided. The top 30 racers based on lap time will proceed to the semifinal of round 1 for the promotional class.
Thank you for that, Gino. And with that, let's jump into the highlights from the promotional leaderboard sessions. And as we are seeing the highlights from the promotional class, I wonder, Gino, what are the requirements for joining the GRGT Cup?
It's actually fairly simple, Ref. Anyone who would like to join should have the following. So, a Sony PlayStation 4, an active PSN account, a PS Plus subscription. Of course, you must have Gran Turismo Sport or GT Sport, any compatible gaming controller, high-speed internet, an active Facebook account, and then for the registration requirements, you have to provide the following details. So one is your name, your email address, your contact number, your nationality, residing country, your PSN online ID, your PSN online country, the player ID, which is found in Gran Turismo Sport, and your previous achievements as well.
And after multiple sessions, here are the participants who made it to the top 30. We have Owen Rada, Jeter Miole, Kale Plaza, Michael Custodio, and Michael Eric. Also, a big, huge congratulations to the rest of the people who made the top 30 as well. Finally, we've come to the top gladiators of the Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup Philippines of 2021. We have the sporting class where all the professional racers are here, and it's really not that easy to get into this division. Gino, who's qualified to join such a division?
Well, just like you said, Ref, the sporting class is the proving ground for professional esports racers and even professional racing drivers who want a dose of adrenaline through virtual racing. Now, there were 68 total competitors, which, just like the promotional class, were divided into multiple lobbies. Now, the top 24 racers based on lap time will make it to the semifinals.
Thank you for that, Gino. Now join us, guys, and view some highlights from the sporting class leaderboard.
All right, so as we see the highlights for the sporting class, I actually wanted to ask you, Ref, given that, some of these competitors are racers who steer real cars, how different could the experience be now that they're doing it in-game?
My honest opinion here is that they're not all that different. If anything, the speed factor isn't there, and you don't really feel the balance that you feel normally when you shift through turns, but that's pretty much it. Everything from the throttle, the braking, trying to see if you can properly overtake, it's all pretty much a similar feeling as to being in a real car. Likewise, you also must check the condition of any cars before running the race, but unlike in sim racing, it's just making them really check their gears. Likewise, bro, how do you think pro e-racers prepare for competition?
Oh man, with pro e-racers, I'm 100% sure that they play several hours to master every turn in the circuit, just like I guess they do in real life as well. Now, aside from that, they condition themselves mentally to focus on the race, and you've seen this in esports athletes, not just in racing, but in other esports athletes as well. That they really do take it seriously. They do a lot of physical preparation as well because it can be grueling to the system.
That's true. That's true. And after going full throttle in the practice sessions, here are those who lorded it over to the sporting class. Making it to the top 5 are Ian Suquilia, Luis Moreno, Lance Padilla, Lance Gubalia, and Estefano Rivera. But of course, congratulations to every racer who made it to the sporting class semis. These drivers will proceed to the semifinals and finals of the first leg, and without a doubt, there will be fierce competition for racing supremacy.
At the core of Toyota Gazoo racing lies motorsports DNA. Combine that with the Philippines' best-selling sedan, you get the new Vios GRS. Its black accent details and aero kit upgrade capture the feel and excitement on the track, and the 10-speed CVT that exudes the TGR competitive spirit. On the road or on the track, always be ready for a heart-racing, exhilarating ride. The new Vios GRS. Bring on the thrill.
Missed the action of the Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup? Well, don't worry, because Toyota's premier one-make race championship will return this July. All roads lead to the Clark International Speedway as the country's top racers and celebrities dice it out on the Circuit Championship and Autocross Challenge. Now, you don't need to worry about observing quarantine guidelines just to witness the races, because all of the action will be broadcast live on the Toyota Motor Philippines and Toyota Gazoo Racing Philippines Facebook accounts. Now, if you stay tuned, not only can you watch the battle itself, but you also get to interact with your favorite racers online and, of course, catch a glimpse of what's happening behind the scenes. Keep an eye on the social media accounts of TGRPH and TMP for more details about the Toyota Gazoo Racing Vios Cup, which will be staged in cooperation with Bridgestone.
Again, we'd like to thank all of you who participated in junior, promotional, and sporting classes. Special mention goes to the 3 winners of the junior class race. Well-deserved victory to you guys. However, what we witnessed today is just the tip of the iceberg. You guys can watch some hot sim racing action in the semifinals and finals of Race 1, which will be streamed live on Labor Day, May 1 at 8 p.m. We hope to see all of you there, and don't forget to tell your fellow racing enthusiasts about the competition.
And that wraps up our coverage for the first leaderboard of the Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup Philippines 2021. So, however, what you've seen today is just a preview of the more intense battles in the semifinals and, of course, the finals. You ain't seen nothing yet, because these racers, oh man, they're gonna pick it up a notch in the upcoming battles.
Definitely, Gino. And until then, we hope to see everyone in the upcoming legs. Until then, keep safe, especially when driving. Cruise through worries and always chase your dreams at full speed. On behalf of my partner, Gino Killiamore, this has been Ref Bangsil signing off for now. We'll definitely see you guys next time.
And you don't want to make this mistake or these mistakes at this